Picture this, a friend of mine named Raj had 5 years of data experience. He kept getting filtered out before a single interview. He added one line to his resume, the SnowPro Core set, and the callback started. Here is the thing though, most people fail this exam not because it is hard but because they study everything equally. They spend a week on a domain worth 4%. We are going to do the opposite. We study by weight. In the next 2 minutes, I will give you a 4-week map, a beat for every exam domain, the trap topics, and the exam day tactics that actually move your score. Let us get the shape of this exam clear first. It is multiple choice, it is timed, and it uses a scaled passing score. That means it is testing a broad understanding of the platform, not one narrow corner. And here is what most people miss. It rewards knowing how Snowflake actually works, not memorized syntax. You will rarely be asked to write a perfect copy command. You will be asked which option behaves which way. One important note, the exact question count, time limit, and pass score change between versions. Always confirm them in the official SnowPro Core study guide before you book. Now for the single most valuable idea in this whole lesson. Study by weight, not by chapter. The exam does not weight every domain equally. Architecture and data loading carry the most points by a wide margin. So your study hours should follow that same shape. If a domain is worth 25%, it gets roughly a quarter of your time. Do not put days into a light domain just because you find it interesting. Pull the exact percentages from the current guide. Then size your study time directly to those numbers. That one move is how people pass in 4 weeks instead of 12. Here is the 4-week map I would hand to anyone starting today. Week 1 is architecture, the 3 layers, the additions, how the platform is built. Week 2 is loading, stages, the copy command, snowpipe and basic transforms. Week 3 is performance and cost, micro partitions, caching, warehouse sizing and finding spend in account, usage. Week 4 is security and role based access, then practice exams. But here is the rule that makes it work. Each week you read and then you go do it in a free trial account. Reading alone will not get you there. Let us walk each domain, starting with architecture and features. This is the heaviest domain, so we give it real attention. They test the 3 layers, the additions, the object model, and what makes Snowflake different from other warehouses. Notice cold storage and compute are separated. Virtual warehouses are the compute, and the cloud services layer handles the optimizer, metadata, and security. One more thing that trips people up, editions matter. Features like extended time travel only unlock on Enterprise Edition and above. If you can explain the 3 layers to a friend, you have most of these points. Now, let us talk about how they actually frame architecture questions. Because the pattern repeats, one common form is which layer is responsible for this task when you see that reason from each layer's job, not from memory. Another form is which addition is required for this feature. That is why you memorize the enterprise gated features. And here is the distractor to watch for wrong answers. Love to confuse compute with storage. If an option blurs the warehouse with the data layer, eliminate it. That single instinct will save you several points. Next domain, data loading and unloading. This is the second heaviest, so do not rush it. They test stages both internal and external. File formats, the copy into command, snowpipe and loading semi-structured data. You really want to know the copy options cold on error, validation mode, purge and how load metadata works. Those show up constantly, and do not forget the other direction. Unloading means using copy into a stage to export your data and knowing which file formats are supported. Loading is where careful study pays off the fastest. Here is how they dress up loading questions. And once you see the pattern, they get easy. Pattern 1, a load half failed, which option lets it continue with the good rows, that is on error set to continue. Pattern 2, how do you check a file without actually loading it, that is validation mode. Pattern 3, why did a file not reload when I ran copy again, that is load metadata. Snowflake remembers files it already loaded and skips them. Learn those 3 stories and you will recognize the question instantly. Now performance and cost, one of my favorite domains because it makes you a better engineer too. On performance they test micro partitions, pruning, clustering keys, the caches, warehouse sizing and resource monitors. On cost, the core idea is simple. Credits equal warehouse running time, so auto suspend saves money and account usage is where you find the spend. And here is the one comparison you must know cold. Scale up means a bigger warehouse size for heavier queries, Scale out means more clusters for more concurrent users. Different problems, different fixes. Let us frame the performance questions because they hide a couple of traps. Pattern 1. A query is slow or scans too much data. What helps? Think pruning, clustering, and the right cache. Pattern 2. Queries are queuing up. How do you fix it? That is scale out with multi-cluster, not a bigger size. People get this backwards constantly. And watch the caching nuance carefully. Result reuse only kicks in when the data is unchanged and the query conditions match. It is not automatic every single time. That subtlety is worth points. Now transformations and semi-structured data. This is a classic differentiator on the exam. They test the variant data type loading and querying JSON, the flatten function and the common functions around them. The story to hold in your head is simple. A JSON blob lands in a variant column. Then flatten turns it into clean relational rows. Beyond that, use streams and tasks for incremental processing and know the difference between a regular view and a materialized view. Semi-structured handling is exactly the kind of thing that separates people who used Snowflake from people who only read about it. Next, security and governance, anchored on role-based access control. They test roles, privileges, the grant command, and how role inheritance and hierarchy flow. Picture a pyramid account admin at the top, then sysadmin and security admin, then your custom roles, then users. And the key direction to remember: grants flow down the hierarchy, beyond roles. Know the basics of network policies, data masking, and object ownership, and know data sharing fundamentals. A secure share gives access without copying any data. That no copy detail is a favorite question. I want to pose on the rule that matters more than any flashcard. The hands-on rule: reading about copy into will not pass you, running it will. So in a free trial account, actually do the work. Load a file, resize a warehouse, clone a table, query account, usage, grant a role to a user. Here is why this works. Concepts you have touched with your own hand stick. Concepts you have only read about blur the moment a timed question puts you under pressure. Touch every concept once. Now let us talk about the trap topics, the exact places people lose points. Trap 1: editions. Extended time travel up to 90 days, needs enterprise edition or higher. Standard edition only gives you 1 day. Trap 2: caching. Result reuse needs unchanged data and matching conditions. It is not always automatic. Trap 3: the easy mix-ups, clustering versus pruning, the direction of role inheritance, and time travel versus fail-safe. Remember, fail-safe is separate. It is a 7-day recovery window and only Snowflake support can use it. Bookmark these 5. They decide pass or fail. Let me show you the anti-pattern, the way people actually fail this exam. The first failure: studying one favorite domain deeply while ignoring the heavy ones. You ace 12% and bomb 50. The second failure: skipping cost and account usage because it feels like operations work. But it is tested, so it counts. The third failure: cramming syntax instead of behavior, then falling apart on the scenario questions. Notice the theme: every one of these is a study strategy mistake, not an intelligence problem. Fix the strategy and the score follows. Here is the engine that turns studying into a passing score. The practice exam loop. Step 1. Take a timed practice test. Step 2. And this is the part people skip: review every single wrong answer all the way down to the concept behind it. Step 3. Track which domains you keep missing. Step 4. Restudy only those weak domains. Do not waste time rereading what you already know. Then repeat. You exit the loop when you clear the scaled pass mark with comfortable margin, not by a single point. This loop is the closest thing to a guarantee. Let us cover the exam day tactics, the things that win points in the room. First, eliminate the clearly wrong options before anything else. Most questions quietly reduce down to two real choices. Second, be suspicious of absolute answers that say always or never are often the trap. Third, flag and return. Bank all the easy points first and never burn 5 minutes stuck on one hard question while 10 easy ones wait. Your goal is total points, not winning a single fight. Move mark, come back. So, where should you actually spend your study energy? Here are the resources that genuinely help. Number 1, the official SnowPro Core study guide. That is your source of truth for scope and for the domain weights. Number 2, a free trial account for hands-on practice plus official or reputable practice exams. Number 3, the Snowflake docs for the trap topics. Read the exact wording on editions and on caching. The precise language is where the points hide. Skip the random courses. These three sources are all you really need. Let me hand you the whole thing on one card, your SnowPro cheat sheet, strategy, study by weight. Follow the 4-week map. Do every concept hands on and run the review the wrong loop. Domains architecture and loading are heavy, so their lead, performance and cost, transformations and security are still tested, so do not skip them. Traps, additions, caching conditions, fail safe versus time travel, and the direction of role inheritance. Pause the video and screenshot this. It is the entire roadmap in one frame. Before we close, let us be honest about what this cert does and does not do. It signals platform credibility and it clears those resume filters. That is real value and I would not talk you out of it. But here is the honest part. It does not prove you can build a real pipeline. It proves you understand the platform. Those are different things. So pair it with a real project. The cert plus a portfolio project is what actually lands you. The role one opens the door, the other gets you the offer. So let us bring this lesson together. We covered the exam shape, the study by weight strategy, and the 4-week map. Every domain with its question patterns, the trap topics, and the exam day tactics, that roadmap gets you the badge. But the badge is the start, not the finish. The full Snowflake masterclass, link below, takes every exam domain and makes it hands on. So you are dangerous in production, not just on paper. Subscribe for the pipeline and cost deep dives coming next. And if you're taking the exam soon, comment your test date below. I read everyone and I'm rooting for you.